You are listening to Single Smart Female, Romantic Fairy Godmama Edition. This show is brought to you by Irresistibility, expert help for women with online dating. Are you experiencing inbox crickets or real-life crazies? It's not you, it's your online dating profile. Let us help you do online dating that leads to real-life love and romance. Go to helpmeonlinedate.com and we will send you the first 2 video chapters of our program for free.
Jen, Bobin, Fee, Fi, Fo, Fen. Jen.
Yeah.
Two.
Yes, I'm your backup singer and dancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're my better half, Jen.
I'm left-handed, so I'll stand on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm processing that in my head. We have a topic today.
Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to say what the topic is?
Why can't we be friends? Can men and women really just be friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you have an answer?
I do.
What?
The answer is yes. Thank you for joining today's show. If you'd like to subscribe, no.
Okay, I agree with you. Men and women definitely can be just friends. But
we talked about this before, and I know.
I also always believe, and ladies, before, I want you to really listen to all of this before any of you start freaking out about the guys you're dating and the girlfriends, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I do personally believe, even when my husband has a female friend, things like that, that there is usually from one party, there's some level of attraction.
Right. And when you say that, it could be like the most minuscule thing in the whole wide world.
Yeah. It's something that they have entertained in their head momentarily. Now, is this a reason to freak the fuck out? No. Why? Because we are adored women.
Yes.
So just because you're with a man and he has his attention on you, just because he might find other women attractive, who cares?
Right.
He still has decided that you are it.
Right.
Okay. When you get to that point with him. And I love the idea that he chooses me above all.
Exactly.
Above all. Of all the amazing, attractive women in the world, he chose me.
You are the winner. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. And I like to be chosen.
Me too.
I'm extremely competitive. Yes. In a good way, though.
Right.
I love to be chosen.
Yes.
But that started for me. Didn't used to be that way. I used to be extraordinarily jealous about this kind of stuff. And with my first husband, I basically was constantly ripping him another one because the idea of female friendship was such a threat to
right. me. And you probably were in your mind going, what's going on there? Is he looking at her in that way? Does he like her? Is he texting her? Is he this and that? Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now, I will concede there's some extreme forms of friendship that you shouldn't be entertaining.
Exactly.
And we've talked about that on a show a while back, about a woman who was in a relationship and his friend, which he called his twin flame, he would. Right. No, I'm giggling just because, gosh, that had to have been, and I giggle at pain sometimes, ladies. I'm sorry. That's just what I do. That's how I process
Sometimes
pain.
she punches me in the gut and then laughs. No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
I'm going to now, though.
I'm watching out for her. Listen, I'm stronger.
She thinks she is. I'm wiry.
We're having a fight later. That's going to be fun.
I want to bear wrestle. Okay. Anyways, back to the point. I'm giggling because that's how I respond sometimes to things. When I see people fall stuff, I start laughing. But the point was, it was really painful situation for her because she was watching the guy she was in a relationship with, go off to his best friend every day and call her his twin flame, not come home sometimes, things like that. Being at her place had made an office, and now that. Ladies, right. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not
friendship. Yeah.
He thinks that he's in a relationship with her, and or that he's waiting for that opportunity. But there's no need to be threatened by every female friendship that is out there. Yes, there may be a level of attraction. You don't have to be threatened by every level of attraction because you're going to have levels of attraction with other people as well.
Yes.
All right. He's not the only man in the world that's going to find you extraordinarily attractive. So there's no need to act out and be jealous and and twist this into some contorted story in your head that he is absolutely going to stray from you. You can be like my husband and I, and we use that attraction and bring it into our own relationship and like turn that energy and then just focus more on each other. But we don't beat each other up for being attracted to other people.
I have many, 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 many guy friends. Because as you know, like I have my tomboy side and I'm a super major, huge football fan. Mm-hmm. And so I, on a regular basis, go and meet with guys and we have our little football watching parties. It's just me and all these guys. Mm-hmm. So it's absolutely possible. Now, when Jen and I were talking about this before the show today, she was saying that, you know, like she said that there's always like maybe a little minuscule amount of attraction. And I thought, well, I don't really find those. I don't know if those guys find them attractive. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, they find me attractive.
Yeah,
no.
that's the point. Is there's always at least one party. Yeah. It's not necessarily always reciprocated. Definitely a possibility that one person finds the person and the other person there's no reciprocation. Okay, I'm just saying that it's my personal belief that there's usually some level of attraction by one of the parties. It doesn't have to mean what we make it mean, though. Right. Just because you're with somebody and they find other people attractive in this world, that doesn't mean you have a shit-ass relationship. It means you have a very normal, thriving relationship that you can still keep growing from over time, because you're not chokeholding and trying to contort this relationship into an impossible standard.
Right.
Absolutely impossible standard. Now, I love to hang out with men too. Freaking love it, because I work with women exclusively. I was like, wait, I don't work with men at all. I work with women exclusively, and I love male energy. Yes. I started my Mantourage dating years ago. I love working with male energy. I love the chemistry between me and men. I develop small crushes on men all the time. Right. And it's more than minuscule level of attraction. But ladies, if you left your husband with me, he'd be perfectly safe.
Of course.
Why? Because attraction is not the equivalent of something is going to happen. Right.
Or actions will be taken. Mm-hmm. It's just, exactly. There's boundaries in everything in life, and friendship has boundaries as well.
Yes. And you can totally use that energy, that chemistry, and turn it into
a playful moment.
Yes.
And that's the end of that. It does, but when I say playful moment, I'm not talking about you're going off in the corner and making out.
No. And and I don't mean that. I'm extraordinarily against women being with men who are taken. Or like in the instance of me and my husband, we have a committed relationship where our line, now there's lots of different people have different types of relationships they set up, and I'm not knocking those, but what my husband and I have at this point, I don't know if it'll ever evolve. Probably not. But what we have right now is that, yes, we acknowledge that we find other people attractive, but there's no physical interaction with anybody else. He knows I'm an incessant flirt. Yes. And 99% of the time, there's no sexual piece to that.
Right.
And if there is, it's usually very, very mild. But that's our line.
Right.
Kind of thing. He's a flirt too, although he won't admit it. He doesn't think it's flirt. He's a huge flirt. It's so funny to me because he gets all a little giddy and things. And I have always worked, Jen, like you, and I've always worked with the most beautiful clients. And I've had lots of beautiful women around us. And since I made this transition into understanding that, yeah, there's always going to be a level of attraction, but that doesn't have to mean anything. I have been so fucking free.
Been released.
So released.
The worry is gone. There's yeah, exactly.
He gets to be him. I get to be me. It's insanely freeing. So the fact that what I want adored women to understand, and when you decide to walk in our world, is, okay, yeah, of course he finds that woman attractive.
And
what does that mean?
Friends.
What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Right.
Okay, do I have to obsess over it constantly? Now, is there a line? We talked about that. Yeah, there's absolutely a line. If he prioritizes their friendship over you.
If he's getting their number and things like that, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have lots of guys' numbers, and so do you. I don't think it's that.
Yeah, for like, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I guess when I'm thinking of a brand new person that you just meet at like Applebee's.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely. That might be.
You get their number.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah. You're right about that. But especially existing friendships, coworkers, things like it doesn't always mean. Now, I do concede that things have been pushed into that. But I also think that we as women, it's not our fault that it happens. we push them in that direction by accusing them of things before anything has happened whatsoever. So what might be just a very small, minimal amount of attraction, we blow it up, make them wrong for it. And then all of a sudden we have, World War II between the two of us when we didn't actually need to go there in the first place. Just let the little bit of chemistry write itself out, not make it a problem. And then bam, our relationship's still going great. The key to all of this, though, to be able to do this is to have an immense amount of confidence in who you are as an adored woman, even if you don't always feel that way. So let me give everyone an example. I've made it very clear that throughout my 12 years with my husband, we've had some ups and downs. We've had some situations, and he's been an extraordinarily loyal man. But there have been times where things have gotten very cantankerous between the two of us.
That's a great word.
I love that word, cantankerous.
Me too.
And there was at one point, the way you handle things makes a huge difference. Now, if you mess it up, it's okay. But I want to give ladies an example of if they hit, a place with the person that they're dating, or if they're already in a relationship, what they can do. So we were arguing quite a bit, and this had been going on, I'm going to say even for a couple of months. And he came to me and said, and he'd never said anything about ever, I know we have this relationship where I can tell where he'll say he thinks a woman is attractive, things like that, but he never says, oh, I find her attractive, or she's really hot. He never goes overboard with it. But this one time he came to me and we'd been fighting, and he looked at me, he goes, are you ever attracted anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me in the moment, and I was like, oh shit, for a second. But I took a deep breath, and I remembered, I'm like, Jen, the thought woman, you're an adored woman, you've got this. And I looked straight at him and said, of course.
Duh.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
And ladies, his frustration and anger with me in that moment just all melted away. And I could tell it actually turned him on at the same time, that level of confidence. And there's been several points throughout our history when I hit him with that level of confidence, but not arrogance, in a fun, sometimes playful, sometimes just very matter-of-fact way, that it reignites things between us. So he had been feeling guilty since we had, been fighting quite a bit, which this happens, ladies, when you're fighting a lot. Yeah, they do have ideas of what it would be like to be with another woman. They don't always act on that. Yes, there are instances where it happens, but more often than not, men don't do, that's not their go-to right away. But he had been having, and I never actually made him tell me all of this. I just knew, because I know things. I've seen things. I understand how these patterns work out, and I just accepted it. He'd been having ideas. I guess he'd see a beautiful woman, when he'd go into a convenience store, things like that. And he had been entertaining some of these ideas in his head, especially because there'd been a lot of chaos between us.
Right.
And within that one moment of me just saying, basically, it's okay that you felt that, without having to over-explain it. Oh, it's so okay, honey, blah, blah, blah. But hitting him with my personality and my confidence, all of his resistance and everything that had been going on just melted away, and we were able to reconnect. And at that moment, things shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want every single smart female to understand, is that we don't have to be afraid of these moments. We don't have to be super paranoid. The more you can step into, of course, he has a girlfriend. That doesn't mean he's going to find her more attractive than me, or want her more than me, or going to definitely be with her over me. We have something so amazing that if he walks away from it, he's the dumbass.
Right.
You shift things. And make yourself more irresistible to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I saying go to him and tell him he's the dumbass if he doesn't know? It's just a knowing that you step into, and it's okay to know this.
Right. And it doesn't mean that everything's over and it's never going to be the same and he's going to act on it. And you don't need to jump to the far, far, far end of the earth with this. It's just a temporary moment of
and when you
in the mind.
Exactly. And the faster you're able to step into, you know what, Jen and Jen, They told me I'm an adored woman. I'm going to step into that moment. I'm going to be that person because that's who I am, even though I'm having some doubts right now and I'm nervous. Game changing. Absolutely freaking game changing in the world of interacting with men. So where in my first marriage, when I found out I had kicked my ex-husband out at the time, he was my husband at the time, I'd kicked him out and he moved in with a 20-year-old girl. And I was losing my mind over this, even though there was a direct correlation of me pushing him in there. I had put his stuff out on the front lawn and told him to leave. And then I flipped the fuck out when he moved in with her. I am a completely different person now. Now, that doesn't mean if my husband came to me and said, Jen, I really don't want to be with you anymore, I would never hurt or anything else like that. But I also understand now that I don't have to be devastated, that there's something bigger going on here, that I can take a deep breath and know that just because he might find somebody else momentarily attractive or he might have a preference, and this isn't happening right now. I'm just saying if this happened, I can still go inside myself and say, you know what, somehow this is happening for me. This doesn't devalue me as a romantic human being. This doesn't mean I'm not going to be loved. And I'm going to tell you, when you're able to step into that place instead of the fear and the chaos and things like that, you're able to shift the energy back towards you, because that level of valuing yourself and without resentment and anger is the most powerful piece of this universe that you have. And we use the word self-love a lot, but it's just, that you are worth everything that you truly desire. So there's no need to keep stepping into that fear. And if you do go into it momentarily, you have my full permission, actually my romantic fairy godmama orders, to step the fuck back out of it and recognize the adored woman that you are. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
He absolutely can have a female in his life that is just a friend, especially when you as an adored woman finally understand that a minor attraction towards another woman is not a threat to your relationship.
Thank you, lover girl, for joining us on this romantic fairy godmama edition of Single Smart Female. Don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, as well as visit us at singlesmartfemale.com.
We'll talk to you next time.
And here's to you having everything you want in life and love.
This show is brought to you by Irresistibility, expert help for women with online dating. Are you experiencing inbox crickets or real-life crazies? It's not you. It's your online dating profile. Let us help you do online dating that leads to real-life love and romance. Go to helpmeonlinedate.com and we will send you the first 2 video chapters of our program for free.